Sorry I'm late. Green text arrow, be me. Hop off of 30-minute, 20-minute, then 10-minute Peloton ride. Swag, react, image, PB the 20 and the 10, not that, no flex. Help get my daughter ready for daycare. Wife leaves to take daughter to daycare. It's 8:58 a.m. Praise Lord, reaction image. I finally get to take a 2-minute poop before the stream. Be me, 45 seconds into pooping. Cigar cutter, the first log, feeling, chef's kiss. And I won't even be late today. All of a sudden, I get a text from my wife. Hey, I forgot our daughter's daycare backpack. Can you go out onto the patio and throw it through the passenger side window of the car? Be me, flex every muscle in my abdomen, recognizing I'm going to have to hold my poop in for the next 6 hours or something like that. Me waiting on the patio for 6 minutes for the car to actually pull up, and then I put the backpack into the passenger seat. She says, thank you. I say, no problem. Turn around, just walk back in the house. Should have finished my poop. All I'm asking for a courtesy, if she had said, can you come out on the patio in 5 minutes, I could have at least pushed out 80% of the log. Instead, I'm going to be honest with you, I think I clenched so hard, I actually took about 10% of the log back inside and then had to hold it in while I was just sitting out there on the patio. To add to the emasculation, I was like, oh, it's a rush. The only shoes at the back door are my wife's Crocs. She wears like a size 7 women's. I wear a size 13 men's. I got my 1/3 of my fucking feet inside of the damn Crocs that have weird bumblebee stickers and pins and stuff like that on them. And I'm just standing out there in 5 degrees Celsius weather wondering where the hell the car is. I've never taken a poop break during the stream, and I never will. I'm like, you learn more about yourself when you have a child, as strange as it sounds. But like some things that you thought were just like you traits, you realize it actually like it's baked into your genetic code. I don't poop in public unless like I'm hungover. Unless there's no option. So basically it's been like 10 years. And then like my daughter, I'm like, hey, did you poop at daycare? She's never pooped at the daycare. I talked to the daycare provider. Did she poop today? No, literally never. It's in there somewhere. You're not in public? Well, it's like Justin saying that he can't zerk off during his subathon because like chat would know that what he's doing in the shower. It's the same. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'll be back in 3 minutes and then I'm going to go like squeeze out a poop. I would rather, unless it's an emergency, I would rather hold it in and then have like a comfortable poop when the stream is over rather than like try to emergency evacuate my bowels during a 3-minute bathroom break. If there's urgency, I can take a shit in 5 minutes. 5 minutes is like the minimum amount of time. Otherwise, I would prefer to take like, I don't know. At least 15 would be nice. 20 would be nicer, to be honest. That's so long. Yeah, it's my poop. Who cares? It's not like I'm asking you to like, hold my hand. I would have dead legs. Honestly, pathetic. No disrespect. It just feeds into the delusion that I'm built different. No toe numbness. No leg numbness. Heart's pumping nicely. Cheeks feel fine. It's no big deal. You can't sit down for 20 minutes? If you sit down for 20 minutes, your legs fall asleep? Little bro he doesn't even realize gravity's doing half of his heart's job for him. Like, what are you talking about? I don't think my circulation's that good, but if I lean on my legs, why are you leaning on your legs? Stop leaning on your legs. If your legs fall asleep, you gotta stop leaning on them. You don't need support. Like there's a back on the toilet. You don't have to like be sitting like you're in a posture class or something like that. You don't have to be sitting like, you're in a Japanese ESL class and it's day 1 before you find out that the teacher has absolutely no ability to control or discipline. I mean, no, I don't use the seat back. I mean, I don't think I use the seat back. But like my legs don't fall asleep when I sit down either. I think I would go talk to like a cardiologist or something. I'm not trying to give everybody in chat like a complex. It's just never been a problem for me. Wait, don't you guys do the thing where you angle the floor of your bathroom slightly away from the toilet so that you're take some of the weight off your glutes? Me, when I'm in a 30-minute Sam Yo shitting class and he calls 60 to 70 cadence out of the saddle, oh, gulp! Stop. Oh, man. I knew we'd get a joke out of there somewhere. I was just tick, 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 tick. Oh, I don't see one. Tick, 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 tick. Oh, there's a little joke bone. Tick, 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 tick. Then you get the brush out. There's a good one right there. I was wondering, based on average human lifetime, and, well, never mind. Compared to the average human, average spoken word count per lifetime, what percentage do you think you'd be in? I think we'd definitely be sitting, without even giving it a back of the napkin calculation, we're top 5% easy. And then we figure out if we're top 5, top 1, or like top 0.1 might be a little much, but because like the only job I think that the most common job that might talk as much as a streamer does is like teachers. But even then, you know, admittedly, teachers, you know, they'll have like a 7-hour day, but then they will give like a 30-minute lecture and then be like, hey, go do some quiet work for 15 minutes. Well, that's true, customer service or a call center. But to be honest with you, on a call center, you're not really, at least as the person, I'm saying this as someone who has called call centers, there's a lot of like, can you hold for a minute? Hey, is there anything I can help you with today? And then the other person talks for like 5 minutes, and then they go, okay, one moment, please. They're on call, I guess pun intended, all the time. Like they could be asked to talk at any given moment, but same with lawyers. I mean, like, even if you're a lawyer that is in trial 365 days a year, which is not even possible, you're not talking the whole time. There's a whole other side to the courtroom. You got witnesses. You got, if you're a defense attorney, you got prosecutors. If you're prosecutors, you got a defense attorney. You might have other people on your team. You know, there's a judge, et cetera, et cetera. Even politicians? No, like, okay, like Strom Thurmond filibustering in 1961 or something like that. Sure, he's had his VO2 max was definitely up above probably as much as I've talked in a single day. But like there's what, like 500 congresspersons, like I don't know, 100 and something senators. They're not all talking all the time. One of them is talking and then the rest of them are tweeting. Can you believe what this person who disagrees with me just proposed on the floor? I think like it's not a hard job. I'm just saying like I think streamers are definitely up there, especially streamers who just solo stream. Some of them, I mean, we're talking about me, so you know, for a while here, it's been I'm getting raked over the coals because I'm only live 25 hours a week now. At the same time, you know, there were years where my ass was just in the damn basement recording Isaac to myself, and if I ever had 5 seconds of dead air, the anxiety took over, and I was like, I need to just yeet something out of my gullet immediately. So in the average human lifespan, I mean, I put myself up there. I put my amount of spoken word daily certainly up against the average elementary school teacher. I'm remembering like when I was in school. It's like your teacher, you know, they talk for a bit. And then like they ask, hey, does anyone know what 6 + 6 is? And then like nobody puts up their hand except like the one person who always puts up their hand. And then they don't want to choose them, not because they're being mean, but because they're just, you know, I mean, like they don't want to choose the same person who always gets chosen because there's 35 people in the class. And you're like, please, anybody else? And then the person who like put up their hand is like, me, me. So I'm just getting set up here. This is like one of the most embarrassing, and this is a true story, embarrassing times my parents ever got called by the school for disciplinary issues. My mom, in the 5th grade, she took me aside and she was like, "Hey, we got a call from your teacher today." She said, "You need to stop putting up your hand for every question and then going like, ugh, when you don't get picked." It's one of those things, I was like 10 years old. I didn't even really acknowledge that I was doing it. But as soon as she said it, I was like, yeah, that's me. You got me. Slash marker. I don't know how many tier lists we're going to do today. I asked the Discord for suggestions for tier lists. And some of them, listen, it's just, some of them were good ideas that I would like to watch, but I can't be the guy, VIP Daniel, that's doing a tier list of Canadian universities, Ontario universities. First off, I only went to one of them. I'm only familiar with like 10. And nobody watching is going to be like, what's going, they're not going to have any idea what's going on. McGill is first? McGill's in Montreal! We haven't even gotten started yet. They're not, it's in Quebec. I think it's in Montreal. I'm joking. Now, I do need your help because I'm old. So bizarrely, I know the old consoles, but the young consoles, are a little confusing to me. Like, I'm pretty sure I own this, but is this an Xbox Series X? That's an Xbox Series S. What's better, S or X? Because it's driving me crazy. Because the Xbox Controller S for the original Xbox was the best controller. And now they're saying the S is the budget version and the X is the premium version. You can't just go back on the S and the X, okay? It doesn't make any sense. And not to mention, we went Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox Series S/X. Like, it's crazy. Anyway, listen, I'm just going to be honest with you. I have an Xbox Series X. We got it, installed it. I played Rocket League and Slay the Spire on it. Well, my baby was really young. And then I have basically never touched it since. So I think it is only responsible to place this into the I did not play/own this tier. I'm not trying to annoy people by saying like, oh, just because I only played two $15 indie games on it, like it's a D. Like, I think it's got to be. I didn't give this enough time to realistically say that to give it a good verdict. No, it's not, because like, here's the thing. You might be like, oh, amazing games came out on this, but I didn't play it. No. You don't understand. You can't just toss this in the D because I had a child. That's not fair. I had a 0-year-old child when this came out. Otherwise, I would have been at least given it a chance. It's not Microsoft's fault that I conceived a new human, okay? At the risk of annoying people, I did not play or own the Dreamcast. We almost bought a Dreamcast when I was Dreamcast age. And then the guy at EB Games told us, Sega's in trouble right now. You may not want to buy this because there would be no support for it later. But I really wanted one because of the VMU in the controller. And then I do have to do him a solid. He didn't know that 20 years later it would be like, if you didn't have a Dreamcast, you're not a real gamer. But he was a soothsayer. He knew the future. Because he said, like a year later, we're watching TV, and they were like, Sega has discontinued the Dreamcast and is like going out of hardware publishing. Now, the Xbox One, I'd be inclined to say, and there's no way we're going to get through this list without annoying some people. Huge Xbox head, original Xbox. Huge Xbox 360. Wait, that's the final version of the 360? This is the Xbox One. Okay, never mind. The Xbox 360. This is the Xbox 360 Series S Dark model, right? I bought one of these when I came. No, that's the Xbox Series X. Then what is going on here? What is this? What is this? And then this. This is two of the same image. I'm losing my mind. I'm going off. This is a Xbox One series. I thought the cooler fridge No, you guys are crazy. This is an Xbox One. Sorry, no. This is an Xbox 360. I see the big chrome eject button. This is the Xbox Series X because it looks like it looks like a little mini fridge. Yeah, the 360 Elite. Thank you, thank you. Yes, this is a 360, 100%. Two down. Wait, no, you're right. Two down from that is it. This is the 360. I'm starting to finally respect Nintendo for completely changing their style up every single game or every single console, so I could at least recognize them. I think this is an Xbox. It's an Xbox One. Because the first Xbox 360 was like it was a white swoop, and as soon as you turned it on to play Need for Speed Underground, it went. Okay, I trusted Luke. Okay, and Luke is saying that this is a 360. I'm gonna trust him. So Nintendo 3DS. I have some good memories of playing the 3DS. It's actually a DSi. Okay, what the? Maybe I don't respect Nintendo. Okay, I did not play the DSi. I'm gonna pull the Xbox because this is not the Elite. Give me a second. This is the Elite. The Elite is an S tier, and I don't know what you are. Okay. I don't know. You were like a remake or something like, or this is like the Elite Slim. This is the last Xbox 360 I owned. Everybody bought 25 of these because the first one they bought would break. It would have a red ring of death. That's the E. This list is made by an insane person. No disrespect. What is this? Have we not done this already? Is this a series? The hell is? When did every console become a box? This is a Series X. Okay, I know we went. This is the one that I own, which makes it even funnier that I don't recognize it. I basically have not played it. I used it to play Slay the Spire and Rocket League. It's not realistic for me to rank this. Okay. Now, if there's one thing you need to know about me, I don't put respect on the classics just because they're classics. I was born in 1988. My parents would always be like, "Oh, you got to check out this Atari game." Okay, guess what? Atari 2600, maybe no good games. Maybe the most noteworthy console that has no games worth playing in the modern era. The NES has a couple of games that are still worth playing, maybe even a few. No game on this console is worth playing except for historical curiosity. I don't know. My parents are in their late 50s now. They will always be like, "Oh, I had so much fun playing like Galaga back in the day." You go back and look at Galaga, it's like a triangle dodging dots. Every sound effect is just, there's only two sound effects in the Atari 2600. One of them is, pew, and then the other one sounds like someone's crinkling a Sun Chips bag right next to your ear. First off, someone said Pong. Pong is not worth playing. I'm sorry. If you're in 2023 and you're like, "Oh, I want to play a classic," play Super Mario Brothers, okay? Do not play Sonic the Hedgehog 1. Play Tetris. Do not go back and play beep, beep, beep. It's trash. I'm sorry. I hate this console. I think it has nothing of merit in the modern day. There's no reason for it to be there, okay? Someone said, "What about Joust?" My parents, I forget what the occasion was, but for my original Game Boy, they bought me, probably cost them $50, which is crazy, especially in like 1997 dollars. They bought me a Game Boy game. It had Joust and Centipede on it. So I've probably played 10 plus hours of Joust in my life. It's not good. Like, I recognize that maybe this is not a fair comparison, but like all of the games on the Atari 26, even the best game on the Atari 2600 is essentially just like a mini game that you would play once in a modern Final Fantasy game and then be like, "Oh, okay, let's play the real game now." I don't, maybe it's because I'm a product of like the late 80s and the 90s and the 2000s, okay? But like it just seems to me like I gain no entertainment going back and playing Atari 2600 games. It's like this is an even worse take, but it's like movies, you know? Like I can watch a movie from 1981 and be like, "Wow, what a good movie." But if I watch a movie from 1910, I'm not like, "Whoa." And then and dude, like he's standing still and then the house falls on him, but like he's standing where the window frame is, so like he doesn't get hit by it. Yeah. Like people that were contemporary that were watching it were probably like, this is the craziest shit I've ever seen. It broke new ground. But now, like I'm watching that and I'm like, what the hell is this old crusty nonsense? Show me the new Ant-Man. I feel like that's the Atari 2600. Like, it's amazing. I've seen like some documentaries on gaming from this era. There's literally dudes who are like, yeah, they gave me like 3 weeks to program Missile Command, and I just worked 19 hours a day and did it. That's incredible that you could do this in 1979 or whatever. But at the same time, it is not held up. That's my 2 cents. Just to give you an idea of how far we've come from, like when I was a kid. I'm not saying like, oh, be grateful. When I was a kid, a house was a nickel and you could buy a soda for half a farthing or whatever. All I'm saying is like, it's good to look back sometimes and, realize how far we've come. I used to get official PlayStation magazine and it would have an ad on the disc. I would invite my friends over. We would play the demos on the disc, and then we might watch the ad like 10 times. We would use the D-pad to go to the ad and watch the ad for chewing gum just because it was so amazing to like see what felt like high quality video on a CD. We were like, holy fuck, we're watching videos right now. We didn't even care that it was for Winter Fresh gum. We were like, this is amazing. It is hilarious in retrospect. Now you load up a video and people are like, skip ad, skip ad. Give me the video I actually want. Back then, we were pogging up for those ads, man. We were so naive. I'm not saying people these days are so entitled. I'm saying back then we were stupid. I mean, I was like 11 or whatever. Now the NES, I did not own, but if you're of the age I am, your friends owned it, your uncle owned it, your dad's friend owned it. I put some respect on it. It does not touch. This to me is like a great midpoint between the Atari 2600 and the Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo is one of the best consoles ever made. The Atari 2600 has no merit in the modern day. The NES has some merit in the modern day. There are a few games, if you looked through the entire library of NES games, there are probably like, I'm going to say 15 that you could play and have fun with. Not just play and be like, oh, it's amazing they made this in 1986. But you could play it and be like, these are fun. I'm having a good time. Closer to 100? Well, listen. I'll give it Mega Man 1 through 5, sure. I'm going to count that as one game though. I'll give it the first 3 Marios, and you know what? I'll even throw in the Lost Levels. I'll give it the original Punch-Out for sure. But okay, now this is where we get maybe a little offensive. I'll give it Contra and Super C. I'm not going to give it Dr. Mario. I'm sorry. I'm going to draw the line at Dr. Mario. This is probably not a popular take. I'm not going to give it the first Zelda. For me, Zelda starts at Link's Awakening. I'm not a huge Zelda head, but I'm Link's Awakening I put a lot of respect on. And the ultimate example of this is Metroid. Super Metroid, all-time classic. Metroid 1, in my opinion, not worth playing in the modern day. You respect the classics. Metroid 1 for me is like a hip hop, a hippie to the hippie, and the hippie to the hop. We don't stop the dump. And you're like, okay, I respect you for being first. And then, like Super Metroid is like, when the MCs came to live out their name and to perform, like it is the difference between Kurtis Blow and, the Wu-Tang Clan or something like that. Exactly. Yes, I'm aware Liquid Swords is a Jizza track. Are you aware that the hip to the hop to the don't stop is not a Kurtis Blow track? As long as we're, for no reason, just correcting people when they said what they were supposed to say to begin with? Yes? Okay, well then it sounds like we're both on the same page. I'm going to keep talking if that's okay with you. I don't know what you do with the Virtual Boy. Everyone knows it's shit. I've been saved by a couple of game store angels, I'm now realizing in my life. Because my parents, we talked about the Dreamcast. Admittedly, they saved me from playing, Soul Calibur and Power Stone, Panzer Dragoon Saga, or Panzer Dragoon. No, wait, I'm thinking that's the Saturn. Either way, the game store employee was like, you might not want to buy this yet. Let's see if Sega's going to be around a year from now. Virtual Boy, same thing. We went to a game store called Nomax. My parents were like, we think he'd like a Virtual Boy. And then the employee was like, hey, there's been reports that it's making children go blind and giving them really bad headaches. And they said, oh, never mind. Probably saved me. I appreciate that the clerk, he could have easily sold it. But instead he was like, he felt like he had a duty for public health. I definitely played it at like Toys R Us. But I don't think I mean, come on. I did not play or own this. This is the 17th Xbox that we got. Somebody needs to remake this fucking list. Anybody out here who's like trying to rank 17 different SKUs of the Xbox and the PS1 and the PS2, it's not what the people want. What the people want is just one representative from each generation, okay? It's too much. Now, are these all duplicates? No. Because what is this? Is this a 3DO? That's the Saturn? Shit looks like a vacuum cleaner. Okay, I did not own a Saturn. And the rest are duplicates? Listen, I'm sorry to say, not to be rude, there's like 27 duplicates, okay? And you missed consoles. Where's my Sega CD? Where's my 3DO? Where's my Jaguar? Where's my Lynx? Where's my Ouya? Where's the Steam Deck? There's so much stuff you're missing on this list. Where's Commodore 64 and Television, ColecoVision? Like, the hell happened? Anyway, take a screenshot. I feel like this is pretty fair. For me. There's nothing in here that I put finesse on. I guess what I'm learning is that like I feel like there's a lot of mid consoles. Chat's doing the 2-button thing. They're like, how have you played me flaming NL for having not played half of these consoles versus me calling NL rich because he almost got a Virtual Boy in 1996. Like I don't have control over any of this. Gen Z like psh, hitting the Sean Wasabi on it. You can buy them now? I'm sorry to tell you, my ass is not buying a PSP now and playing like 15 FPS Killzone in the comfort of my own home. It's never happening. By the way, can I just say, I felt vindicated today. I went to Google Finance as soon as I woke up, as I always do. Check and see how the S&P 500 is doing. There was a survey of Canadian consumers ranking stores based on how much they like them. Number 1, Canadian Tire. They got like a 73.7 out of 100. Fair enough. I'm not a handy guy. I go to Canadian Tire now and then. Canadian Tire, to me, it kind of feels like Walmart, but I don't dislike being inside of the store. I don't have a problem with Canadian Tire. Number 2, Costco, 73.6. I felt so vindicated at that moment. I've been so gaslit about Costco over the past like 3 or 4 weeks. All of a sudden, I realized that normies agree with me. I was a little surprised to see that Costco doesn't get over Canadian Tire, but that's okay. Probably because it's a little bit more exclusive. All right, this is where we are now. We have reached the bottom of the content barrel, and I'm going to just plow right through it and see what's below even that. This is a tier list of door handles. Now, people that watch this stream more often will know that I actually have some strong feelings on doors. Part of it is because I read Don Norman's The Design of Everyday Things, which is a goated book. If your brain is broken, like my brain is broken, and you have problems putting things together, or oftentimes you find yourself, for example, pulling on a push door or pushing on a pull door. It put into words what the frustrations that my brain had been dealing with its whole life, which is like, why do you have you should design the door in such a way that you can't open it the wrong way. If it's a push, you put the metal rectangle on it so you literally can't pull. And if it's a pull, you put something pullable on it. Like, okay, anyway, regardless. I have somewhat strong feelings about door handles. Some of these are not just related to the design of them from a functional perspective, but also, the hand feel. If you can have a mouth feel, you can also have a hand feel. Now I'm going to start you right here. This door handle, I feel like just in my head, I'm grabbing the door handle and it's unsatisfying. It's not set properly in the hole. So when you grab it, it's kind of like it's wobbly a little bit. And like when you turn it, you're not exclusively getting rotational torque. Some of your energy is being wasted because the doorknob itself is lifting up and down while you do it. So for me, I'm just going to have to go ahead and say that this is a D tier doorknob straight out of the gates. Now, this just reminded me that I think maybe I hate these doorknobs because this is what the doorknobs were like in my off-campus house in second year of university. One of the doorknobs, you ever have a doorknob where if you open it too fast, the knob falls off? One of my housemates, and we could have just fixed it, but we were busy drinking. One of my housemates had a doorknob like that. His doorknob fell off on the inside of his room, thus trapping him inside of the room. We let him out. From that point onwards, he kept a butter knife in his room. So if he got trapped in his room, he could put the butter knife into the other side of the door handle and then use that to twist open the door. One day, he's in class, and then me and some of my other housemates are eating breakfast in the kitchen, and we get a knock on our door, and there's two students there laughing, and they say, "Hey, there's a middle-aged Asian woman on your balcony begging for help." And we said, "Oh, really? Like that doesn't seem likely." Lo and behold, we go upstairs, and we hear his mom go just rattling the damn door, going like, excuse me, can you help me? Excuse me, it's blank's mom. I'm stuck. And she didn't know the knife trick, obviously. We didn't know that she was even in our house. She just came in the middle of the night and stayed over, I guess. I mean, that's a legendary story in my world, but anyway, that train has sailed. It was door stuck. Oh, man. And so the end of the story is I'm ashamed to say that I was laughing too hard to feel good about opening the door. Because I was like, if I open the door and she sees like 5 college students like openly guffawing in her face, like that's destructive to someone's self-esteem. So it was like, I felt bad, but I was like, I can't open the door. But I went downstairs, and then one of my other housemates put on a straight face for long enough to open the door and let her out. Anyway, it wasn't me. I did not do the right thing there. I did what I thought would preserve her self-esteem. Now, this door handle is certainly weird, but if you're asking me, at the end of the day, do I prefer doorknobs or door handles? I mean, I prefer door handles without a doubt, at least for hand feel, because they're affixed tightly to the door. You can almost tell just by looking at it. that when you grab it, it's affixed to the substrate, and when you pull it, you're going to be or push it, I suppose. But I mean, I don't know why you're pushing a handle. Regardless, you should be, the force that you're using is translating to the door. You're not. There's no inefficiency there. So even though this is a little gross, I would be inclined to put it at least above rickety ass knob that doesn't turn well. I mean, just to be honest with you, I would put this straight up in the A tier as well. So listen, some doors need a lock, some doors don't. This door, if it's a gastropub bathroom door, doesn't need a lot of security. I like a handle that you can hit with your forearm so you don't get your hands as dirty. And this is a little crazy, maybe. In my house, I would never have these because it would make your house look like a prison. But when I'm out in public, my favorite kind of door is like a beige door, little glass window. The size of the window is fairly irrelevant, but then the door itself, the handle, is just the metal rectangle. You know exactly what you basically don't even have to stop walking. You just, while you're walking, you turn to the side, you put your shoulder on the metal rectangle, and you just keep going, as long as nobody's on the other side of it. That's my favorite kind of door, but they don't even have that here. Now, this is absolutely psychotic. I feel like you have to separate not for engineering reasons, but like for usability reasons. You have to separate the mechanism you're unlocking from the thing that you turn in order to open the door. Like this is Shadow Realm for sure. Now, this is like a hotel door with a little key slot that you can enter the key in, insert the key in. It's got a lot of advantages. It's a metal rectangle. You know I love it. It's got a handle. It's got the benefit of a handle, but it's also firmly affixed to the wall. I feel like I have to put this in the S tier. The one thing I'm going to say, though, is that this, even though it's in the S tier, it's not the superior hotel door. They've now moved to the NFC reader instead of the key inserter. And I saw someone in chat say it makes a great sound. It definitely does make a great sound. Like when it scans and it confirms you, it goes like beep, kunk. It is nice. Do these still work if the power goes out, or am I going to have to bring a butter knife into all my hotel rooms from now on? Coming to take me away for my takes. Minecraft ass doorknob. I mean, I feel like this is fine on a drawer. For a drawer knob, it's okay. I can't explain why. Someone that knows interior design more than me is going to have to explain why that makes sense. But for a door, I mean, there's a reason that they're rounded. You know, if you're opening a door, it's somewhat heavy. It puts a little bit of pressure on your hand. You don't want many sharp edges. It just seems to me like I don't really know what this is going for. But you know, if they had two of these squares and then a metal bar in the middle, oh, that would be S tier, dude. And then you grab the metal bar and you pull. But just as the knob itself, and doesn't this look like something you would like find in a rock climbing gym? It wouldn't be a very difficult grab, but at the same time, it just seems like, why are you punishing me for trying to go somewhere? Who gave you the right? This is a Shadow Realm for me. Now, I feel like I'm losing my mind a little bit. What is this? Is this a very small rod on a door? I'm just being honest. Is this like a European thing? My impression of a North American whenever they see something that's slightly different than what they've seen their whole life? Is this from damn Europe or something? Not at all. To me, it looks like you didn't pay your contractor. Like you wanted like a big rod to open the door, but then like your check bounced and they took like a saw and went and cut the tops off your door handles. This just doesn't look satisfying to me. I'm gonna have to put this in the D tier. I apologize. I never thought I would be so confused. I find myself very confused by what I'm looking at here. It's a door handle that becomes a flashlight. Okay. I'm just gonna be straight up with you. I'm putting that right in the shadow realm. I know people do not. Well, it's like in cooking, people don't like single-use devices, right? They're always like, you should never buy something that's just like an egg cuber. You should never buy a melon baller or something like that. You should just buy like a good knife and then you can cube your own eggs because your knife can also do other stuff. For me, I'm almost at like the opposite for the rest of my house. I want everything in my house to do like one thing and one thing only. Because my experience is like, I don't want a door handle that's also a flashlight, but it's kind of shitty at both. I'm like, oh, 99.9% of the time, I'm like, oh, this door handle's kind of shitty. And then 0.1% of the time, I'm like, oh, thank God I got this shitty flashlight. Especially, in the phone era, this just seems like essentially completely irrelevant to me. Yes, thank you. Like modern software development paradigm. I don't want a method that does two things. I want two methods that do one thing, and if you have to do those two things, then you make another method that calls those two things, or you get the idea. I like it all to be. I like every house to be built out of pieces, not like modular pieces, not like grouped units. Single responsibility principle. Thank you for putting the thing that I forgot. I mean, this obviously belongs in the shadow realm. I don't know what this is. I don't know if you put something in the mouth. I don't want to do that. I don't. It is Craigasm. Now, this looks like a door you have to suck on to open it. Am I losing my mind? What is this? It's a breathalyzer. They should have this in bars, but like not to make sure you're sober before you go in, but to make sure you're like drunk enough to pay $12 for a Michelob Ultra. I honestly, I just don't know what it is. Nobody knows what it is. What is this? It looks, maybe you push in the front part? I have no idea. Go to the shadow realm. I mean, this is a classic Don Norman situation. A door is a very simple machine. It divides two areas, or divides one area into two areas. All you have to do is figure out how to open it, okay? And if you can't figure out how to open it by looking at it, probably in 0.1 seconds, but especially if you're looking at it and talking about it for 30 seconds, then your doorknob is fucked. You're fired. This is unless this is like the door to get to part 2 of an escape room, it doesn't make sense to me. Now, this is going to sound crazy, but this door handle is worse than the other door handle. Because this feels like you could actually mess something up in your shoulder by shaking hands with it and then trying to pull. Like that doesn't feel like that's an action that human beings should be doing that often. Wrapping your hand around the hand and then pulling makes sense, but to have to like grip it like that and then slide it back doesn't feel right to me. So I'm taking it a step further. I'm honestly gonna banish it to the shadow realm. This is they should have put this last because there's more meat on the Jaime Lannister door, as Jay just said. Because this is just a little pocket door like this. I got nothing for it, and I got nothing against it. This is like the sort of thing in a Vancouver condo or something like that. This would be like the door that separates your bathroom from your bedroom. in a 1-bedroom apartment that's 400 square feet. And then the realtor would be like, so this is your ensuite. And you're like, the whole apartment is just one room, basically. How can I have an ensuite? It doesn't make any sense. Well, you see, you don't have to walk 3 extra feet out into your living room and then turn left to go into your bathroom. Instead, you could just go straight from your bed into your bathroom. So, I mean, it serves a purpose, but I mean, I'm not that fond of it. I really thought this would be more contentious, to be honest. Like, this is not. Everybody seems to mostly be on the same page here. You know what we should do? Take a screenshot of this. And I'm very passionate about this as well. If you think I'm crazy about Norman doors, don't get me fucking started on shower controls. Every single shower has a different control, especially if you're in a hotel. Some of them just have the one knob and you turn it and it goes like cold to hot. And then maybe you pull a tab to get it to come out of the top. Some of them have 2 knobs, tab. Some of them have 2 knobs, switch. Some of them have 2, like 1 lever for hot, 1 lever for cold. Isn't that the plumber's job? Like, I'm not supposed to be mixing my own cocktails in the shower. And that's even like, sometimes you get some, they've got like inter-geared levers. Maybe, just let me take a look here. Maybe somebody did the work for me. I have had to, it's so embarrassing. I have had to call maintenance in hotels and be like, show me how the shower works. Because I've gone in there and been like, I sit there for 5 minutes. And then one time I was like, hey, maintenance, can you come up? Our shower doesn't work. I swear to you, the dude came in and he's like, oh, here's what you do. He turned the water knob and then he pulled up on the whole tap. I've never seen it before or since. We got to stop these shower control engineers. They don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. Why don't they just, the lever, 1 lever and 1 tab is totally fine. Or two levers, 1 tab, or it's just crazy. Okay, I'm just typing shower into this is why I have my screen off right now. Yu-Gi-Oh characters based on how greasy their hair is. How Attack on Titan characters smell tier list. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with his website? Shower list. This is just a picture of like a bunch of people's friends. TF2 characters based on how many times they shower per week. Dota characters based on how often they shower. I'm dying, man. I'm dying. Nobody made a shower head tier list? Sort by alphabetical. It's not going to help me. Okay. Bath. I'm just typing bath. League of Baths. Yep, I should have known. Ranking League characters by how often they've taken a bath. This is an interior design theme tier list. Now, the pictures are so small that I think you have to be an entomologist in order to see them. But it is what it is. I'm realizing I don't know what any of this shit is. But I could definitely, I could start you off pretty easy, okay? The Bohemian style, I can tell you straight up, I could tell you right from the get-go, way too many pillows on the sofa. If there's a style I've made fun of a lot, it's not because I think it looks bad, it's just not my scene. It's like 24-year-old TikTok influencer and all of her vertical videos are shot with like, there's more plants on her wall than there are outside in nature. That's like that's the easiest style of interior design for me to make fun of, okay? And I feel like Bohemian embodies a lot of that. It's not the worst though. The worst is like the Garfield house. So that's like a C. Bohemian's like a C. Now, cottagecore. I'm realizing that maybe it's not that I don't know a lot about interior design. Maybe I just know what I like and I hate everything else. I also don't really like cottagecore. I don't like light wood, wood that's painted white, exposed, roof beams. That's not my. I like the fucking a room that you go in and the wall is like 2 rows of concrete squares, and you can even see like bolts in them or something like that. That's my style. And then like just like a brushed concrete floor or something like that. Really? Yeah, like yes. Like this doesn't look warm and inviting to me. When I look at this, I smell something. I'm smelling old wood. I'm smelling a place that because it's their summer home, they didn't really worry about upkeep. I'm smelling it and I'm not liking what I smell, honestly. I'm putting it in the C tier. Now, organic modern. I was gonna say, Kate, this is like how our house is decorated. This looks to me like the way that we've decorated our house. It's like half me. Well, I mean, she designed the whole thing to be fair, but it's like half open, and then we have like furniture that looks like it's made out of stone, like a Minecraft house. And then we've got like some furniture that's like fabric, you know? Yeah, it's like it's fairly standard. We have a Minecraft dining table for sure. It's basically like a stone rectangle and then 2 stone benches. Please don't describe it like it's a Minecraft. All right, if people saw our dinner table, they would be like, so the top comment would be Minecraft ass dinner table. But I like it. Except sometimes the bench looks like it's really heavy, but sometimes I'm sitting on it, my wife's sitting on the other side, and then she stands up, and then the bench like almost tips over because of my weight. And I'm like, I wish that it was a little heavier so that didn't happen. But anyway. Now, I do need to go check on, I need to check on Scandinavian interior design, because I think I just used that as like as a catch-all. I'm looking at some examples. I'm seeing white walls. I'm seeing open spaces. I'm seeing dark wood tables. I love it. Absolutely no doubt. As I look at this here, this is S tier for me. I'm okay, by the way. I'm not trying to create any friction in my household. I am okay with organic modern. To be honest, I think that like I don't see the world. I think that my eyes see the world and then it just translates it into like I don't even know what to say. Like I'm not very observant. Like I think I'm a robot. It's like I am capable of seeing the world around me, but for the most part I'm just like on way to fridge. Like I turn the visual information that I see is actually just like data point scaffolding to aid me in completing whatever task I move to the top of the priority queue. And then Kate will be like, how did you not notice that there's like cat vomit on the ground? And I'm like, I was on my way to the fridge. Unless I stepped in it, how would I notice it? Cat vomit on floor is irrelevant to completion of fridge-related task. It's really called Japandi. When a streamer, my reaction when a streamer goes to Tokyo, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I know it's so bad chestable. I am a sucker for like Japanese and Korean coffee shop design for sure. Like whenever Chib or Justin watch those like Korean coffee shop, I lived there too, but whenever they watch those like Korean coffee shop ASMR videos, I'm like, the place looks fucking nice, man. They got great. It's got great interior design. I mean, a lot of these look pretty similar, but I'm seeing more wood. Sure, I'm seeing some quite a lot of exposed wood. I mean, this is like Scandinavian design, but Japanese. I like it. I got nothing. But I will say, you know what's funny is that if in my head, it's like this is what every Japanese house looks like. The same way, like if you watch Korean coffee shop videos, you're probably like, oh, interior design in Korea is so good. Then you actually like go to a Korean person's house and it's like 15,000 old blankets and stuff like that. Like I'm thinking, admittedly, I'm thinking of your parents' house here, Kate. But like they got the ab workout thing in the living room, like the gurney you strap yourself in, and then you're on like the circle, and you're supposed to like go upside down and then go back up, like. But if you design it deliberately in this style, yeah, I like this too. I mean, I like it as much as I like Scandinavian, honestly. This is like a beach house. I don't mind. I feel like correct me if I'm wrong here, Kate. I feel like some of the houses my parents have decorated when they've lived in them have had a little bit of a coastal style. Now I would say they're almost a little bit more on the organic modern train a little bit. But I've lived in some pseudo coastal type houses. Not really at all. I would agree to disagree on that. Oh, you know what I'm thinking? This is kind of like your sister's house, where everything in the house is nautical themed. Like in every single room, there's like a pillow with a boat on it, or like a plaque that says like, I'd rather be lost at the lake than find myself anywhere else. I don't hate it, but like yeah, oars on the wall, exactly. Anchors mounted on stuff, like old maps. I don't hate it. I don't love. I mean, honestly, if I like the sea, I do. French country. This is where Jamie Oliver wishes he lived, right? I'm just gonna be honest. It looks very nice to me. It doesn't necessarily. It wouldn't be like my number one pick, but I think it. I mean, this image, I did see this in the Google image search. This is like the worst image of all the ones that I saw. But yeah, I think it's a good example. It looks like a Food Network show that isn't a competition. It looks like a Food Network show that's just like, hey, welcome to my house. You're going to start with 1.5 sticks of butter, and then you're going to add the ricotta cheese. I love ricotta cheese. It's so creamy. It's almost like it's not even a cheese. It's more like kind of like a cheese icing. And you get the idea. I think I don't mind it. I would put it in the B. Now, what's crazy is I would rather live in the Food Network shows that are competitions that is just like a chrome floor and then like one little table in the middle and 2 kitchen islands. Like that's more my style. I would be inclined to put this rate about here. But this, let's think about personal tastes. Again, I mean, this is crazy, but I am extremely pro minimalistic. Like for me, the second best time that you look at a house is when the previous owners have removed all the furniture and you just open the door and you walk in and it's wide open. The best time is when you put down your bed and your couch and a table. And then it just goes down from there. I don't know. I'm not even going to try to say like it's more functional or something like that. It's just literally like, I don't know, because in our house, it's well designed. I like how our house looks, but I'm bumping into shit all the time. And every time I bump into shit, I'm like, we don't need this. Why do we need a dinner table? We can just eat on the couch. We got hands. Why we got stools that tuck under our island as if we're inviting people over and like splitting Chardonnay and talking shit about the other daycare parents? It literally never happens. Get these stools out of here. We don't need these stools. We need the island. The island makes perfect sense because we need space to chop things and like get some mise en place. But I'm like, I don't need a dresser. Right now I need a dresser. If you said we got to throw out this dresser and we're just gonna use our closet, I would be like, good. I would throw out 32 t-shirts tomorrow. And I would be completely okay with it. I'm not the kind of guy who would positively describe something as cozy necessarily. Like to me, this looks cozy. I don't want that. I don't know. I want my shit to look like the restaurant from the menu. Okay, farmhouse. By the way, there is worse than this. Kate, I've been telling them we've been going to open houses. Some of the places that show up on I don't know what word I'm looking. What's the website? It's not. We don't really use Zillow up here. It's like REW or something like that. Anyway, regardless, some of the websites that show up here, or some of the houses that show up here, like 10% of them look like they were designed by Tony Montana. They're like, the outside of the house is like, it looks like a marble recreation of the White House. And then the inside of it is like the tackiest marble floor you'd ever see. White columns everywhere, like gold accents. It's nuts, man. Tiger skin rugs. Say hello to my little friend. Posters of Tony Montana on the wall. I don't really respect the farmhouse design either. Like, I would say French Country is like, those are the Food Network shows where the chefs agree with my political beliefs. And then Farmhouse is like the Food Network shows where they disagree with my political beliefs. Industrial. Now this, I got to be careful with this one. I like the industrial facade, but not when people take it too far. I like big windows. I like concrete floors. I like open spaces. What I don't like is, hey, look at my light fixture. It's like an old Cadillac headlight that we turned into a light fixture. Hey, look at our tables. We used like a bunch of old wrenches to make the tables. Like, that is a little tacky to me. But like, if it's like it's a factory that then they turned into like a house or something like that, and they kept some of the like the concrete and the maybe an exposed pipe or two here and there, that's great. But if it's just like, hey, you know, this is a gastropub inside of the mall, but like the door handle to get into the bathroom is a hammer, then I would be like, okay, that's a little tacky. So I feel okay. I almost feel like the top four right now give me the best parts of industrial without veering into insanity, although minimalism might be like a little too far. Anyway, I mean, like this, I'm okay, listen, I'm putting it up here. The reason is these are all a joke to me. To me. I'll do you one back. In a way, this list is almost like, it's like an inverted, like Gaussian distribution of, or normal distribution of like respect. Like if I walked into your house and your house looked like this, I would be like, oh shit, I see you. And if I walked into your house and your house looked like this, I would be, wow, I see you. And if I walked into your house and your house looked like, you know, this, I would be like, you guys did a great job on the house. Like I respect that, like on this, I think you've cultivated an aesthetic that I agree with. And on this, you've cultivated an aesthetic I disagree with, but you clearly must like it and you've done it deliberately. And then on these, I'm like, I get it. You like subscribe to a couple magazines or something. You watch a lot of HGTV. I get it. You and your spouse will get a divorce if you don't get a double sink in your new place, okay? I can't believe how many +2s I'm getting. It's scaring the crap out of me because normally when I get -2s, I'm like, I'm telling the truth. So I'm getting so many +2s. I'm like, am I lying? Minimalism, you did nothing? Yeah, but you don't have to do anything. Sometimes don't just, some people are like, don't just stand there, do something. Sometimes you gotta, don't do something, just stand there. Sometimes there's subtraction via addition. Tuscan. I feel like this is like rustic, but for pasta. It's also grandma's house. Tatooine architecture. Wait, okay, let's hang on here. Tuscan. I'm not gonna lie, parts of this do look a little Tatooine. You know what? One of the first things that I saw is like a slightly, like a half-covered outdoor patio with an outdoor sofa, 2 chairs, and like a glass table with a glass vase and flowers in it. If you actually use that space, more power to you. I feel like if that space existed in my house, I would have old ski boots and shit outside. I would just be piling up garbage. That's not a functional space for me. I would rather that that space was brought inside and turned into a closet. Listen, I have some respect for it. I don't really like it though. I would throw this down in the C tier as well. I don't know. Like Tuscan feels like so presumptuous to me. Tuscan is like, look at my awesome house. And cottage, even though I don't love it, it's like, hey, we just happen to live here. We're just like, yeah, like it's okay. We got exposed wood. It's not my real house. Hey, yeah, our table hasn't got enough urethane on it. That's because we only use it in like 2 weeks in July or something like that. This is like I flew in Venetian marble specifically for this room. And cottage is like, yeah, we had like some leftover 2x4s, so we built a table or something like that. Like I respect this more. This is a little bit more like blue collar. This is like my dad owns the third largest garbage truck wholesaler in the county. So you better watch how you talk to me. Look up brutalist interior design. I'm a noted brutalist enjoyer, by the way. Yeah, this is my style. This Google image search, just like, this is me down to a T. Bro, literally, like, why are you painting the walls? I don't need the walls to be painted. Well, you have the smallest brain on the planet? Oh, when I look at that shade of the reflection of light off of that wall, it makes me feel warm. Bro, it's a wall. I mean, I don't want, like, exposed drywall, but if it's made out of, like, stone or concrete or something, yeah, give me the concrete. Oh, no, you can't just have concrete. It's gray. Your walls need to be taupe. Your walls need to be mother of pearl. I know it's crazy. I like brutalist buildings too. I don't know, like I get annoyed. I know we've talked about it before, and it's like a very easy take in the midst of a never-ending housing crisis. I get so annoyed when people post like one shot of like Notre Dame, and then they post like another picture of like a block of Soviet era apartment buildings, and they're like, where did we go wrong? Bitch, nobody lives in Notre Dame, you fucking idiot. Those are houses for people to live in. Like if they need a place to go fall asleep, a place to poop and pee, and go to the shower and like cook food and then like enjoy time with their family. They don't need to, not everybody needs to live in a building that's like, it looks like the observatory in Los Angeles or something like that. Like you need a place to live, man. Amazing. Look at this beautiful building that 0 people live in versus like these 8 buildings that admittedly like look generic, but there's some beauty in the fact that 3,000 people are living their lives in them right now. I don't mind like a house that looks nice. I just like when people like they talk about it with Vancouver as well. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. It's not that serious. But people are like, oh, Vancouver, oh, another beautiful steel and glass skyscraper going up downtown, just what we needed. It's a beautiful city. It's a nice skyline. What do you want them to do? You want them to build a 40-story tall building out of like pine? It's a damn tinderbox, man. Where earthquake comes, the whole thing's going down in 2 seconds. I was muted the whole time. It was a great intro. I'll try to redo it. /marker tier list. Someone in chat had a great idea. They said, why don't you do a tier list of chairs? And I love ranking the mundane, things that most of us have some familiarity with, some relatability to. And I was blessed to find a tier list that has quite a lot of options, honestly, like quite a lot. I'm eager to give it a go. Now, what do I like in a chair? Sittability ranks pretty high. Stability ranks quite high. Not tipping over, for example. And comfort for the most part. I'm not really going to rank these like interior design style, like which of these would look nicest in our house or something like that. It's more like something to sit on. Like if I went to a dentist's office and they had this chair, if I worked in an office and this was my chair, if I went to a restaurant and this was my chair, how would I feel? I sit in a Herman Miller, and I'll tell you, there's one chair I peeped Closer to the bottom of the list, this boy right here. Whoo! That's a nice chair. That's a chair I like the look of for sure. But apart from that, I'm not a fancy chair guy. I know we were talking about the Scandinavian art, interior design. I enjoy the look of those more than I enjoy the feel of the chairs, to be honest. So like this chair right here, this one, and hang on, there's more examples. This one, I promise you, there's more examples. Where are they? You know what I'm talking about. This is like what I was gonna say is this reminds me of like when I get to I have an appointment with my accountant, and I get there 10 minutes early because I'm like a habitual early person, believe it or not. And then they're like, yeah, just take a seat anywhere. And then there's like one chair that looks like this, and like one chair that looks like this, one chair that looks like this, and one chair that looks like this. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I don't even know I just feel like I'm not comfortable here. This, it looks like something that you would sit on in the 1970s, and like it's right after you smoked a drug, and then you would like fall asleep, and Andy Warhol would take your photo and you'd wake up famous. This does not look like, it doesn't look comfortable. I think you could only relax in it if you were under the influence of something illegal. But it gets worse. So I'm giving it an E for sure. Now, this is a bicycle seat with like a bowl on the bottom. I mean, this is a joke. That's definitely in the F tier. You've heard of a unicycle? This is a nonocycle. No one would ever say like, oh, that bike seat is so comfortable. Now, this is a classic. Everybody that has a kid in recreational sports owns one of these. Anyone that's ever been camping, anyone that's been to a big barbecue. You know what can I say? I've railed on this before. Everything, and I understand in the modern era, people don't necessarily live in huge houses, especially millennials, Gen Z. We're more comfortable with smaller spaces. I understand that everything you buy now is like, and it also folds up into a compact carrying case. But then catch me trying to fold up my daughter's tricycle. There's literally like 1 millimeter of clearance. If you end up not folding it in exactly the right way, you can't get the zipper over the damn thing. It takes me like 20 minutes to put it back in the closet. This thing, all you do is go like bunk, zoop, and then it just slides right in the tube. They did it great. They don't make them like that anymore, man. Now, there is a problem with this. I'm praising it. It's easy to set up. It's functional. It does the trick. Now, what are the net negatives? If you don't sit in it for an hour, but it's unfolded on a hot summer day, shit's gonna burn the bejesus out of you when you sit back down. A cool gust of wind can knock it over. Those are the two big ones. It is not a very stable chair, but you're not really buying it to be like it's a stable chair. You're buying it so you have something to sit on at your campsite or something like that. So I'd be inclined to throw this in the C tier. And we got like 7 tiers, so that's like right on the midline as far as I'm concerned. I'm okay with this. Cup holder's nice too. But if I'm being honest with you, the high school gym folding chair, I'm putting it up. I'm not gonna put it in S, but I don't think you could persuade me to put it below A. Yes, the church basement folding chair. This thing is stable as fuck. If you fall off of this chair or if it falls over, it's because you wanted to fall over. You were horsing around, and we don't respect that. It hurts your back. Okay, it does hurt your back a little bit. Sorry, I just go up here a little. It does hurt your back a little bit because there's all this open space, and then like this ends up digging into like just below your shoulder blades. It's a prison chair. I don't know, man. I like it. I'm ranking it high for stability, and it also doubles as a way to show off your masculinity when you're cleaning up after like drama club or something like that in the ninth grade, and you're like, I want to impress some chicks. You're like, look at how many chairs I can carry at the same time. Holy cow. Look at that. Ryan's got 3 chairs per hand. Good Lord, he's strong. Listen, it's not the most comfortable chair of all time, but it's very portable. It's very stable. It does the trick. I'm putting it in the A tier, man. Now this, to me, there's another genre of chair that I don't respect, which is chairs in bars that charge $22 for hamburgers. So the big loser in that category is definitely this stool, and then this stool right here might be the worst piece of seating equipment that is everywhere on Earth. I can't believe there hasn't been like a class action lawsuit against the people who invented the tall metal stool. People will drink like 9 double IPAs sitting on this thing. How are they not falling over and cracking their head on the floor? It doesn't make sense. Never know where to put your feet. Yeah, sometimes if they don't have like a rail or a footrest, all of a sudden you got your feet like set up like this on that tiny little piece of metal that goes across near the bottom. It's just a piece of garbage, man. Just and then you get the bill and you're like, I had 2 beers and a burrito bowl. That's not worth $53. Are you crazy? Dude, I'll tell you, as good as this is, you know what's better than this? Plastic covered elementary school chair with metal legs. Because that, I know this is going to sound crazy, but not only was the plastic more comfortable to sit on than the steel, but it's so stable, you could go unstable on it and just balance yourself by going like this. Like, it was actually so stable, you could go 2 legs on it and you would only fall over like once every 10 minutes. Like, it was amazing. That's a Werner Panton. How do people know the names of the chair design? It was when we were doing the door handles. People were like, oh, this is a Toulouse. The internet is amazing. It's turned all of us into freaks. It's made freaks out of all of us. This is a metal chair. This is like, I can't think of a counterexample. Tall-legged chairs, don't like them. You give me the choice to sit at a high top or a regular table, I'll take a regular table any day of the damn week. I'll sit at a high top if I have to, and I'm not going to complain. I'll sit at the bar if I have to, but I would much rather sit at like a real table. I know it sounds crazy. Stability is important to me. It's not even that I fall off of chairs that much. It's like they just feel like I could fall. Like I can't relax in this chair. It feels like if I give up vigilance for even a second, or if I laugh and I go ha 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 ha, like that could be the last moment of my life. I don't know if it's just the more I look at this chair, the more I'm like insulted by the chair. Why are the armrests so high? I'm not a particularly tall guy, but it doesn't feel like my arms are there. Like it feels like I'm sitting like Jerry Stiller or something like that. It is a chopper. So true. This is the ZZ Top chair. Listen, I would put it above this at least, but it doesn't come close to the utility of the folder. So let's keep it in the D tier. What the hell is this? I weigh 176 pounds. I feel like if I sat on this, it would snap like a damn fortune cookie. It probably wouldn't. Like it's got to be stable. Although I've never seen someone sit in them. I bet it would look nice in your house, though. It's like raffle tickets. Bet it would look nice in your house. This is not minimalism, okay? Minimalism is I don't even have a chair. I already have a bed. Why would I need a chair? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you. Wow. Look. Oh, sorry. The Queen of England is here to visit us. She wants a place to sit and a place to lay down. Oh no, you couldn't possibly sit on the place where you lay down. Anyway, I mean, this is as bad as this is not as bad as a bicycle seat with a Bosu ball. This is just stupid. I'm sorry. I think we're past this era where like people would have an exercise ball instead of a chair. You shouldn't sit there. There can't be a scientist on the planet who is like, oh yeah, you know what's really good for you is never being able to like ever relax your back muscles. My wife's sitting on one right now. Come on, man. There's no way. It's fun to sit on. Yeah, if you're not like doing any work or something like that. If you're, listen, because my in laws, when we go to their house, in their playroom that my daughter spends like all her time in, they have an exercise ball. Yeah, I sit on it. I sit on it and I go. But I only do it because every second that I watch my daughter play with like the same 20 toys feels like an hour sometimes. So it's like a distraction from, like I'm still doing my parental duty, but it also helps the time go by a little faster. But this is like, to sit on this for like 8 hours a day at work. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm sorry. I would put my back up against anybody's back that is sitting on this at work. I don't know how we're going to test it, but I think I wash you. Just being straight up. You go back to back. It has no positives. Not only does it have no back, it has no seat, and it's designed to be unstable. Okay, you're right. It's not, I'll admit, it's not worse than the bike seat on a Bosu ball. That's way worse. Like, I don't even think I could sit on this for more than like 2 seconds without falling over. So I'll use some honesty there. Now, a Muskoka chair. For a long time, I looked down on the Muskoka chair. Also, I think known as an Adirondack in the United States. And I thought, oh, look at these wood slats. That looks like, oh, so harsh. Then, one day, Caden, this is like 5 or 6 years ago, Caden and I went camping, and there was nothing to do. But at the lodge, there was like a Muskoka chair that just looked out into the forest. And I sat on it, and I was like, this is really nice. And I just sort of like sat there for, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, not even doing anything, just sitting there. The chair, just being in the chair was enough of a privilege that it was entertainment in and of itself. I didn't expect this necessarily going in. I'm inclined to throw it into the S. Is it stable? It's insanely stable. What is this? This is not a beanbag. This is an M&M? This is edamame. It's an olive. It's your AirPods case. You guys are pretty funny. You're doing a great job. I mean, what is this one? Yeah, I don't know what this one is. I mean, as stupid as it looks, just being honest with you, I would rather sit on this than sit on a sphere. So I'm inclined to throw it down here. But now I'm thinking, dude, if I ever like open up an office, I'm not gonna have chairs. I'm just gonna have different weird shit, and we're gonna learn something about your personality when you come in. Here's a tricycle. You can go sit on the tricycle. There's a kneeling chair. Here's an old refurbished like roller coaster car, and you got to put the lap bar down. Now, oh my God, we have so many chairs, dude. What it was fucked up is when I looked at this at first, I said, wow, there's so many chairs. This is going to be awesome. Now I'm like, oh, fuck, dude. This is way too many chairs. I almost feel like this is like worse than just the ball. The half ball, like a half ball on a chair that didn't have wheels, sort of makes sense to me. But like, isn't there some kind of like a butterfly effect here, like a positive equilibrium, where as soon as you get a little bit of movement on the ball, that leads to more movement on the wheels, which leads to more movement on the ball, which leads to more movement on the wheels. And then before, like, as soon as you sit down, you're like, oh, this is kind of nice. And then in 2 minutes, you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. It seems, yeah, there's a physics bug with this chair. Like, it doesn't seem right. My mom has this chair at her desk in her classroom. She loves it. Is your mom a chair teacher? Does she teach people what chairs are good and bad? Or does she just teach something useless like mathematics? This chair, I feel like we've had some that are like deceptively good, like the folding chair. This is like deceptively bad. Like, it looks like it's super comfortable, but because of the way that the back is set up, you can't really rest up against it. You have to spend your whole appointment like lean forward on your knees or something, or on your elbows. Your elbows are on your knees. There's nowhere for your arms to go. You're sitting there. You're like, am I talking too much? I don't know what to do with my arms. Do I put my thumbs in my pockets like I'm a sheriff? Do I put my arms fully at my sides like I'm some kind of psychopath? Do I grab one wrist with my other hand like I had to do it to him? This just seems I'll give it that it's got some comfort, okay? I'm liking the plush, but it's certainly, I don't think you elevate it above a D tier. Where do you put your arms on the folding chair? Bro, you don't need to put your arms anywhere on the folding chair, because whenever they're like, oh, and the valedictorian is buh, you go, you suck! Like, your arms are always doing something like this. Or like, sack tapping your friend next to you or something like that, or rolling up a spitball and then blowing it at somebody. You wouldn't get it, man. You weren't in high school in the 80s like me. A dentist chair? Am I an insane person if I put a dentist chair, or a barber's chair, I guess, in the S tier? It's just a great chair. I've never, and I haven't got my hair cut for a while, but when I got my hair cut or when I'm at the dentist, I'm never like, oh, this chair is uncomfortable. I'm always like, oh, this chair is helping me relax a little bit. It's cozy, it's functional, it has pitch, it has yaw, it has roll, it has elevation. It makes a cool sound. It goes like, psh, 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 psh. This is an S tier. I mean, I don't know how you want me to rank this. I think this would make a great office chair. It's stable. I don't think if you fall out of your dentist chair, I think that shit is like bolted to the damn ground. It might not be like an ideal chair to have at your work desk or something like that, but it might be. I don't know. What is this? This is like a half stool, half chair that you would find in Celine Dion's restaurant. 1950s aesthetic. I give it some credit because the circle stool is more stable than the square stool. I don't know physics-wise. By the way, Valentine, thanks for the gifted subscriptions. Thank you. I don't know how that like a square feels like an unstable shape when you're on the top of it. A circle feels a little bit more stable. Why are you going on about stability? It's not, I've said it before, it's not that I'm going to fall over. It's that I want a chair that doesn't make me think I'm going to fall over. It's like telling someone on an airplane, like, oh, why are you worried about turbulence? Like planes almost never crash due to turbulence. Yeah, well, I'm trying to watch the menu, and it's already hard to watch it because the subtitles are 3 seconds behind the audio, and then like one of the headphones is like shorted out, so I have to keep the headphone jack like a little bit out for some reason, and every time the plane gets jostled, it then makes the headset short out again, and meanwhile they're going zoom, zoom. It's like I can't feel any comfort, man. It's like when I'm sitting on, I know I've besmirched this a lot throughout the tier list so far. When I'm sitting on one of these, I'm like, I maybe this is what they want in the restaurant. I don't want to stay. I want to have my meal. I want to get out of the restaurant because it feels like at any moment I could tip backwards and smash my head on an exposed concrete floor. On the flip side, if I'm sitting in like, where did it go? Where's my, there you go. If I'm sitting in one of these right here, you're going to have to pepper spray me to get me out of the damn house or out of the restaurant. This thing, I'd be like, why would I leave? I'm right where I want to be. This thing, I'm like, did you even want me here in the first place? That is what they want? That's fine. They can want that. And if the food's good, like, I'll come back. But, like, I'm just saying that I'm not going to give the chair any credit for that. This is hostile architecture, okay? I'm actually going to do this chair a favor. And I'm going to say, bro, there's a desk. There's a desk attached to this thing. That's a desk right here. It's not a desk? What are you talking about? That's a desk, man. That's the seat. What are you talking about? You sit sideways and then this is like a hip supporter? All right, I'm starting to think that might be the seat. You sit like this. Okay, this is a chair for kindergarten. Okay, well, in that case, listen, I was going to go off on the desk chair. I saw people being like, this is an A-tier chair. The desk chairs are horrible. And if you're left-handed, they're even worse. Because they always have like 90% of the auditorium is right-handed affixed desks. You got to sit with the other weirdos in left-hand prison. Always wedged in like the front left of the auditorium. It's not a real desk. Like you can't actually put any shit on it or in it. You can just drape like 1/3 of a piece of paper over it and then like slowly move it up as you keep writing your answers. Anyway, but this, I mean, if you're in kindergarten, this is fine and it's better than a stool. But if you're an adult, it's bad and better than a stool. Why is Chipotle in B? What if it does its job? Don't need a chair to give you a prostate massage for it to be like competent. It's not B worthy. It's comfortable. Say what you will about Chipotle. There you be, oh, don't go to Chipotle. You got to go to Las Casa Amigos. When I go to Chipotle, they respect me enough to give me a real chair. I go to Las Casa Amigos. They're like, here's a plastic stool. By the way, tortilla chips are like another $6 on top. I placed myself as if I was in the chair, and I said I like it. I said, to me, this feels very comfortable. It feels plush. Feels like it comes up and supports maybe roughly up to your collarbone. It's got a nice ottoman as well. I mean, I would feel inclined to toss it right there. I would love to sit in one of these. Leg rest is too high. This might be a controversial take. I'm a high leg rest sort of guy. There, I placed it. I don't like the low leg rest, like where your body goes like, boo. Because I think my brain is like, I'm falling, I'm sliding. I like my legs to be level with my hips, or alternatively, I would even take a slight upward. Not V. I don't want to be bent, but like a little, like this, and then a 1 degree pitched up would be totally fine. A director's chair. It's interesting to think about. They suck. Okay, Steven Spielberg. I mean, they don't look very stable, and they've got the same problem with the folding chair, right? Where they don't have anything going on right here. You better make sure, I'm realizing if you're a director, your pants better fit well, because you can't be showing crack. I don't know. It's a hard one to rate, but I'll be honest with you. If we were at like a barbecue and someone fucking posted up with one of these instead of one of these, I would judge them. I would be like, bro, you're not a director. Relax. You're Canadian. So But can I also say this is the kind of chair, like if you saw this in your friend's house, you would be like, I'm at least going to sit in it. Like, I just want to know what, and then I'll probably, like, especially if they have one of those, like, megaphones, I'll sit in it for a little bit and be like, action! You're in my light! Cut! You're in my light! So I got to elevate it to D just for that. Okay, this is the Herman Miller Aeron. Now, I'm sitting in this chair presently. I'm very happy with my purchase, but I don't think I can put it in the S tier. I don't know why it's good. I'm sitting in it. My back feels great. Everybody on the internet says it's the best chair of all time. Ergonomics experts say it's fantastic, but it's like maybe you underrate it because it's subtly fantastic. Like as soon as you sit down in a Muskoka chair, you're like, oh man, it's time to relax. As soon as you sit down in a barber chair, you're like, man, it's like I'm surrounded by leather right now. But when you sit down in the Herman Miller, it's I don't know, it's built for long-term sustainability. No, I'm moving the Aeron up a little bit, but too expensive for S? I mean, I'm pretty sure one of these chairs is like $4,000, maybe more. I respect the folding chair. I don't, people are, you know what this is? This is like that show on, I don't watch a lot of YouTube, but where they go to like, hey, like, we're going to try some $10 sushi, some $100 sushi, and some $1,000 sushi. And then sometimes like, they're like, well, for the money, the $10 sushi is like the way to do it. The $100 sushi was a little bit better, but too expensive. And the $1,000 sushi was almost a little too fancy for me. People in the comments are like, $10 sushi better than $1,000 sushi? They didn't say that. You make a composite rating out of all the factors. This the folding chair. Like, if I would not sit in this shit to stream, that's psychotic. But like, I also wouldn't fill a high school gymnasium with 1,000 Herman Miller Aerons. It would be like bumper cars out there. You got to evaluate it based on a composite of all the available information. Now, the Iron Throne, I mean, it's a joke. I'm sorry. I would rather sit on the Iron Throne than sit on a bicycle seat attached to a Bosu ball. But it's a joke chair. Like, it seems extremely uncomfortable. It's made of swords. I don't want to sit on swords. Okay, Lego chair. Straight up, I would rather sit on the bicycle seat on a Bosu ball than the Lego chair. That seems very uncomfortable. And then this motherfucker right here, referenced it like 70 times throughout the tier list so far. It's not the worst chair of all time, but it is the bane of my existence. Here's a meme for you. If you see this, your ass is about to pay $25 for a cheeseburger. If you see this, your ass is about to have 4 double IPAs before you get on your flight. The plastic version is so good. Wrong. Boom, roasted. Whenever I'm on a chair, I feel that plastic stool, I feel like Anthony Bourdain. Okay, I'll +2 you for that. I think that's an insightful comment. I'm just picturing you high on poppers and drunk off your ass, eating a fried avocado taco, having like an insane Anthony Bourdain monologue in your head, sitting on a plastic stool while like the March Madness plays on a TV at 300 decibels above you. So maybe this is it, the spirit of America. I had to travel across an ocean to get here, and yet when I landed, everything seemed so familiar. It's curious how they can have so many cultural exports, and then when you get here, it still feels a little alien. I almost feel like it's a funhouse mirror, reflecting the rest of the world, reflecting itself. I don't know how he does a send-off. Anyway, that was not too bad for improv. For coming off the top of the head. What are poppers? Poppers are a drug, a class of drug containing amyl nitrate. And Chip can protest this all he wants. They were commonly used in like disco culture in the 1970s and 80s. One of the main reasons they were used is they cause involuntary relaxation of your smooth muscles, in particular your anus. Now, Chib said when he was on his stream, I've never done them because I don't want to punch like a hole in my brain. Chib said they don't make your butthole get loose. What I think he was trying to say is they do make your butthole get loose, but they also might have some other effects that some people would find beneficial. They might have a multifaceted effect on people. They make you lightheaded for 30 seconds. Look, this is not a drugs tier list, something that genuinely I'm not qualified to talk about. And we're getting into some like dark stuff here. If you ever watch like Intervention, like you'll see people that are alcoholics. It's very sad. You know, they're destroying their lives. You'll see people that are addicted to heroin. It's very sad. They're destroying their lives. Then you see people that are addicted to crack. It's very sad. They're destroying their lives. But the alcoholic and the heroin addict, at least when they get their fix, they got a few hours of, you know, being in what is their demented version of bliss. The crack addict, he smokes the crack, and then in like 10 minutes, he's like, all right, I'm back. And I'm like, it took you all day to get the crack, and then you smoked it, and it's like, I'm ready for more? Like obviously I've never smoked crack, but they were talking about it when they said that the high lasts like 10 minutes. I was like, 10 minutes? I mean, obviously that's not the reason you wouldn't do crack, but like, I guess what I'm trying to say is if you were to deliberately get addicted to any drug, I don't know what my takeaway message is. It was just, after watching so many episodes of Intervention, I was like, this one's maybe the most fucked up of all. People are going around, they're like smashing car windows for a 10-minute high? Addiction's crazy, man. That's why I take issue when people are like, oh yeah, but you do caffeine. I'm like, yeah, my ass drinks a cup of cold brew before I get on the Peloton. I'm not doing anything crazy. Let's not draw like a false equivalence here. Nobody says that. Wrong. Lots of people say that. They just say it in deliberately bad faith, and then sometimes I fall for the bait. But anyway, this is the electric chair. I'm going to have to put that in the F tier. I would probably rather sit on the Lego chair than be electrocuted to death and die. You know, this doesn't need to become like an ethical discussion. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about the death penalty. I feel like I'm pretty anti-death penalty, but I haven't really sat down and reasoned with it for a while. But I am definitely anti putting people in a chair, putting a metal bowl on their heads, and then flipping a huge switch and shocking them to death with a lightning bolt. That's fucking brutal, man. Like, and they were doing that, like, what was the last execution via electric chair? It was probably like in my lifetime. That's fucking crazy. It was not yesterday. Come on. Tennessee still does them? Okay, never mind. There we go. May 10th, 2002. That's fucking crazy, man. People getting electrocuted. They're in the electric chair in 2002. I mean, I don't know. Like, we're not going to do like an execution tier list. I feel like my ass would like rather hang. They're both brutal. I don't know. I don't want to think about it. Actually, I don't even think lethal injection is at the top. I think getting like my head chopped off is probably close to the top. But I wouldn't want it to be like a public execution. Like I wouldn't want it to be like people are like buying snacks and like getting there early to get good seats. And then like I'm getting a little nervous tummy that's like, oh, it's only like an hour till I get my head chopped. That would be like the real torture. And then I'm like, why? They're dragging me up the staircase, and I'm like, please don't, please don't. And people are throwing tomatoes at me. And I'm like, were it not but for a simple twist of fate, you yourself could have found yourself on the gallows today, good sir. And they're like, no, never. We're made of different moral fiber. It has nothing to do with our circumstances. We're stupid. We're stupid. And I'm like, you don't get it. And then like it would be a blessing when the guillotine severed my spinal cord there. But if they were just like, hey, come in at like 11 and we'll get this done, like quietly, I'd be like, okay. I could enjoy it until like the night before, probably. I definitely do not want to get like electrocuted to death. Because that seems like just the world's worst roller coaster. It's like I already don't like roller coasters that much. But then to know that like when they flip the switch is like I'm going to get struck by lightning is pretty bad. And not even for like a second. They're going to keep that thing on for like 20 seconds or something like that. Anyway, let's move on. Yeah, I definitely would not like to have all 4 of my limbs broken and then be shackled into a boat and have my body covered in honey and then pushed out to sea so that like wild birds ate my flesh over the course of several days. There's a lot of public execution methods from history that I would definitely not be super into. Anyway, cooked alive inside of a golden bowl. The one that's, and this is Dan Carlin pilled, but the one that's so crazy to me is like the breaking of the wheel, which you're like, oh, what is that? Is that when they put you on like the table and then they stretch you? No, that's the rack. Oh, is that maybe they put you in a big barrel and roll you down a hill? No, they literally just use a fucking huge wheel and break all your bones. And then they just sort of like thread your body through the wheel. And they just leave you there in the town square until your ass expires. What's the point of the wheel? Like, is it symbolic or so? It feels like if you just use like a hammer or something, that would be more efficient. What were they thinking? I'm sure the hangman was like, if you just give me an axe, I could do like 12 times more clients today. Instead, the king is like, nope, it has to be the wheel. All right. I mean, you're the one signing the checks, brother. I'm just telling you. You don't tell me how to do my job. I guess I shouldn't tell you how to do yours. But anyway, sorry. I don't want to say I'm a hero. When I get on the SkyTrain, I don't take a chair. It's not because I don't like sitting down. It's because I have PTSD from the time I sat down on the bus and then an insane person yelled at me and called me a slur and then wanted to fight on the bus. And then I just said, okay, and got off. So now I just stand. But also it feels cool to stand on the subway because it's like you're riding like the world's biggest skateboard. You are a subway surfer. That's absolutely true. This is going to be a very hated opinion. I'm anti-beanbag. There's always like 20 pro beanbag guys in a group of 21 guys. I feel blessed to not ever have to fight for the beanbag. I don't really like sitting in it. They always smell funky. Eventually they get a hole popped in it and then you sit down on it and then you got a vacuum like right afterwards. I just don't find it that comfortable either. So for me, a beanbag is actually down here like it's in the D tier. I'd rather sit on a beanbag chair than a piano. I don't even know. I mean, it's somewhere in there. I might rather sit on the piano bench, honestly. Getting up from a beanbag chair is degrading. That's true. Your ass has got to like push the chair back a little bit. And it takes you like a couple of tries to get enough momentum. You're not wrong. There's a lot of psychotic chairs. This is a joke. This is in the F tier. This looks like a chair from Blue's Clues. We've had a chair like this. It's kind of like it's like a corduroy version of this one, the Minecraft chair. Limited back support, limited armrest, still looks relatively comfortable. I would feel like tossing it in there. Okay, it's not worse than the electric chair. It's not worse than the Lego block. I don't think it's worse than the bike seat. I would probably rather sit on the stool though. I don't know what I'm looking at here. This looks like it looks like a mushroom doing pull-ups. Does anyone else see a mushroom doing pull-ups? Do I need to talk to a psychiatrist? It's like, here's one curve of the top of a mushroom that is also its arm. Here's another curve, and then it's got its little mushroom feet are hanging on the pull-up bar, and he's going like, you see it? Okay. Like, I see a mushroom doing pull-ups here. I also can't believe we're still doing tier lists, for the record. And especially still doing the chair tier list specifically. I thought, then this happens every time. If you had asked me how long this chair tier list would take, I would say, in advance, I would say 20 minutes. And it's been almost 2 hours. This is like the chair that the dental hygienist sits in. How would I know? I'm not a dental hygienist. I have to assume that it works okay because like every single one of them is using it. Oh, it's a blood drawing chair. Every time I had a lot of blood drawn last year because of the food poisoning stuff. I always sat down in a chair with no armrests. And then the nurse came in and she's like, what hand are we going to do? And then I was like, oh, or what arm? And I'll be like, oh, you can put it in my right arm. And then she would like press a button and an armrest would like unfold. And then she would be like, okay, put your arm down like this. Can I tell you, listen, while we're killing time here, I don't care what side you put the shot into. Unless you're giving me one of those ones that's like 12 needles in one plunger. Doesn't matter to me. Because I always end up getting in these discussions. What handed are you? I'm like, oh, well, I'm left-handed. And they're like, well, should we do it in your right arm then? I'm like, well, my right arm's stronger. And then they're like, what the hell does that mean? And I'm like, you know what, just juice me up. What does that mean? I'm left-handed. Well, like, what does it mean to be handed? It's not your strongest hand. In short, it's the hand that you write with. I write with my left hand, but my right arm is stronger. It's a little unusual, yeah. And then in baseball, I throw and bat left. Hockey, I shoot left. But like a lot of people in hockey shoot left for whatever reason. Like there's not an even distribution of, or like a representative distribution of right-handers and left-handers in hockey. There's more left shooters, I think. How would you shoot a gun? I would steady the barrel with my right hand and pull the trigger with my left. And I would say, here's your special delivery, you piece of shit. And then the stock would probably hit me in the stomach and I'd be like, oh! I believe you, but my Tommy gun don't. I hold my fork in my left hand and cut with my right, which I believe is also the way that you do it if you have good manners, which is really just a happy accident, honestly. I bowl with my right hand. That's the weird one. And my right hand it's stronger. I don't know how to describe it. It's not by much. Yeah, I'm a little ambidextrous. But I'm not ambidextrous in that like both hands are equal. I'm ambidextrous in the sense that like you don't know which of my hands is good at doing stuff and which of my hands is shitty. Please don't type FAP in my chat like this is the mid-2000s. You shouldn't be asking me about that kind of gross stuff to begin with unless you're Justin. But you definitely should not be using that verbiage. I mean, that's way back in the... That's from a bygone time of internet culture. This is the sexiest chair I've ever seen. Somebody tell me how much money this chair costs. I need one of these. It's like $5,000 to $15,000 USD. Oh no. For a damn chair? It's a famous chair? Yeah, I know I'm in an Aeron, but that's like, I mean, if it's If it's 8K, that's like 5 Aerons stacked together. I could be running a startup. What is this? Is this a sensory deprivation pod? I genuinely don't understand how you sit on this. I don't even know what it is. It kind of looks like a shoe. It's got buckles on it. It's a jet plane ejector seat. I mean, I would say I would want one if I was in a jet, I suppose. But, I mean, it's a joke, dude. Okay, it's not worth... Well, I don't know. It's like pretty close to as bad as the electric chair. I know it sounds crazy. I feel like I would rather sit on the Lego chair, because at least if I'm sitting on the Lego chair, I'm probably not in a fighter jet right now. If I'm in a fighter jet, this would probably be my chair of choice, unless I could maybe get this one. And then if we landed, I know I'm taking a gamble, but like, sorry, I meant this one. If we landed, then I'd be like, let's go, free chair. My head when I eject from my home flight sim setup, my head when I hit the big red button on my home flight sim setup, and then it would just... Is there like a meme image of a guy with an incredibly flat top of the head? It could just be Herman Munster or something, or Frankenstein. My skull when I hit the eject button on my homemade flight sim rig. You could do something with that. This is a joke. This is heinous. I would give this... I mean, it's borderline a functional chair, but... I wouldn't say it quite gets there. Now, what the hell is this? This is bubble tape? Did you pass the chair? I mean, it looks a lot like this thing, but this is like a little too al dente, and this is cooked to taste. This is a barbecue cover. Like, but actually, what is this? Like, is this a cover? Or is this a chair? It's a net chair. Looks like shit. This I don't understand. I'm going to give it an E, and I'm going to put it high E. Now, I feel like the gamer chair is like... I don't think this is contentious. I sat in one for a few years, and it was totally fine. But there was like no benefit to it whatsoever. It's not worse than the electric chair. But it was like worse than an office chair. Yeah, like I think it's probably worse than the Staples chair, the Office Depot chair. Also, no streamer in history has ever used the head pillow. Because when you buy this chair, you're playing competitive games, so you're leaning forward the whole time. If you ever need to buy a used pillow, if you find yourself in that place in your life, try to buy one off of a retired streamer. I use it. It's not like it... I'm not saying it's a bad chair. I'm just saying, like, I don't really feel like it's that valuable. I had a DX Racer, and when I sat in it, I was like, oh, this is like... It's comfortable. But it's not like, I don't know, it's... I think it would be cooler, maybe this is not apt at all. I think it would be cooler if it was set up like a real race car chair instead of like a race car chair that's cushioned. Like if that shit was made of like hard metal and you had to strap yourself into it, then I'd be like, oh shit, it's time to game. Yep, that's a B. Yep, we roll on Cupcake. Okay, good, we got a crow. We're going to buy, sell, freeze the chocolate. Okay, let's launch this round. I would be like, we're ready to go. But this is just like a, I don't know, I just, at my age, I think I would just feel like a dweeb. This chair would make me feel bad to sit in it at this point in my life. I'd be like, I got a kid. I'm like silver in Rocket League. I'm sitting down in my gaming chair to do a stream. Like, that's not me. I'm going to put it in the mid D tier. Okay, and there you go. You have your list. I should rank public toilets right after the ways to die tier list. I mean, there could be some conversations in that one. Like, I I definitely like don't want to drown. Wouldn't mind having my head chopped off a little bit, I guess. If I have to. I mean, old age surrounded by your loved ones is a big one. That would probably be S tier for sure. Lit on fire? Yeah, that's close to the bottom. There's probably worse, but that would be really close to the bottom. I think the only thing worse than like incredible pain for a very short period of time would be like moderate pain for an agonizing length of time. Yeah, being eaten would really like that would hurt me physically, mentally, and spiritually. Cause like it's like you don't die immediately, so like you're being eaten by like a bear while you're still conscious. I would be like the fucking bear got me, and I would be like, I hope I taste like shit, you fucking bitch. And the bear like would not even, because it doesn't speak English, it would just be like, why is this thing talking to me? And I'd be like, I can't believe I died to a bear. See, New Zealand, Taika Waititi. I'm gonna guess they go together. Hunter. This is like the hunt for the wilder people. I see Elizabeth Moss. Invisible Man, ex-partner. Something else. I see Brendan Fraser, George, Ape. That's George of the Jungle. Okay, so let's start there. Brendan Fraser, Ape, George, Jungle. Now we got Total Recall. Okay. Total Recall uses virtual memories. Then we got Elizabeth Moss. Where's Elizabeth? Wait, there she is. Ex-partner. Invisible. Ooh, and then swap them. And then this must be the hunt for the wilder people. Total Recall, The Invisible Man, George of the Jungle. Now, where do they maybe they connect via Mars? Maybe they connect via Taika Waititi. Jungle. Maybe they connect via Hunter. Hunter, Jungle. I was thinking of like Jumanji. New Zealand. I'm kind of washed on this one. You got to give me a second. Wait. Invisible Hunter, Jungle, Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's Predator. He's done it. It's that easy. It's, you know what it is? If you gave me like just the words, I would figure it out. I get confused sometimes by the shapes. As soon as I start to think about the shapes, I lose the plot. But when I just look at a list of words, I'm just level with you. I'm horrendous at putting things together. Like below like 9th grade level, for sure. Full disclosure. But my brain is insanely good at finding the relations between words in an unsorted list. It's crazy. Star Trek Into Darkness to Tron Legacy. Okay, so in this you have a male actor. You have Olivia Wilde. You have Michael Sheen and Daft Punk. In this you have Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, Benedict Cumberbatch, Zoe Saldana, Anton Yelchin, Carl Urban. For connecting to Olivia Wilde, you could connect via, I literally, the only thing that's coming to mind, no disrespect to Olivia Wilde, she was in House, right? And then she's also in she directed Don't Worry, Darling. Maybe she's got a cameo. Michael Sheen, I mean, you take him, he's been in the Underworld movies with Kate Beckinsale. Kate Beckinsale is in Serendipity with John Cusack and Jeremy Piven. I'm like, okay, yeah, we get the, you motherfucker. John Cusack. Okay, we're going to, wait, no, okay, I've got an idea. Here's my play, okay? I'm covering chat. Michael Sheen is probably British, maybe Australian, but probably British. Benedict Cumberbatch, British. They've probably been in a movie together. Let me get Benedict or Simon Pegg. Feel like both Simon, because Michael Sheen is a comic actor from time to time. Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. Hang on. I got something. Simon Pegg to Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller was in The Watch, that Alien movie. No, Ben Stiller is in that movie where he is showing his son around the colleges. All of his friends are more successful than him. Michael Sheen plays one of his successful friends. Have Simon Pegg and Ben Stiller been in a movie together? Is it The Watch? It appears that Ben Stiller was not in The Watch. But we can still get to Ben Stiller very easily. He might be in one of these animated movies. I just don't know. Okay? But Ben Stiller, well, Paul, just give me a second here, has Seth Rogen voicing the alien. Can we get from Seth Rogen to Ben Stiller? I feel like you could just connect through like funny people. Or like a Zoolander. Paul, Seth Rogen, Jason Bateman, Ben Stiller, Kristen Wiig, Ben Stiller, Jason Bateman, Ben Stiller, Blythe Danner, Joe Lo Truglio. It's all this. It's the same damn people. I'm trying to get to Michael Sheen, which requires me to get to Ben Stiller. Okay, David Koechner, Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. Ben Stiller plays the Spanish news anchor. That takes you to, I have to scroll here. It was an art house movie that Ben Stiller was in where he's showing his kids around the college. His kid. The movie is called, it's from roughly this period. I don't think it's While We're Young. It's Brad Status. Brad Status has Michael Sheen, which allows you to get to the movie we were trying to get to in the first place, which is Tron Legacy. Oh, okay. That 4 is pretty good. And we sort of reasoned it out in advance. And connecting through Brad Status is a little wild. Chris Pine is just in Don't Worry, Darling. Motherfucker. Oh, man. I just saw David Koechner's comedy show live. Lots of caca jokes. Can I tell you something? I have nothing against Bert Kreischer, but I can't take him seriously until he puts his shirt on. It's not that I care about his appearance. It's just the fact that every single special he has his shirt off. It's like a gimmick catchphrase. Like it's like Gallagher smashing the watermelon. It's like Dane Cook talking really fast and having it going like this. So it's like the joke is like, it's just too easy. He needs to do a special with the shirt on, okay? Now this, to me, this looks like a Zelda. And I'm going to say this looks like it's Majorum's Mask. There's a Metacritic score of 87. This color scheme looks like Persona 4. This is Psychonauts. Okay, it's actually not hard at all. All right. It is not Persona 4. As soon as I saw this guy, I was like, that's a Double Fine game. Give me the Rotten Tomatoes Daily. It's a one-word comedy action from 2016. I already know it. I can tell you I already know it. By the way, flashbang out. Get ready. Reasonably well-liked by critics, not well-liked by audiences. PG-13, 2016. This is the all-female reboot of Ghostbusters. It immediately came to mind. One of the easiest tells that you can get is critics like it, audience loathes it, or audience loves it, critics loathe it. Ghostbusters and The Last Jedi, and I'm trying to think of what else is in there, but you know, this is the critics, those are critics like it, normies don't. Then on the flip side of that, you have normies love it, critics don't. That's where you end up with your grandma's boys and your Zack Snyder's Justice League and your et cetera, et cetera. Your Venoms, great example. Great example. I thought we did pretty well on those today. Let me see if my wife is ready to stream. Hello. Are you ready to stream? Critics love it, normies hate it is Uncut Gems. No. Critics love it, normies love it, weirdos hate it for some reason. If Uncut Gems doesn't stress me out, does that mean I'm neurotypical or neuroatypical? Because it seems like everybody who watched the movie was like, I liked it, but I would never watch it again. And I'm like, it's a thrill ride, baby! Strap in and get ready, because you're about to have a lot of fun watching a man start a Rube Goldberg machine that ruins his fucking life. I not only did I think it was a good movie, I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed every second of watching it. Twice. Hang on, I went to Chrono Photo. New York City, baby. Vienna Sausage Company. You would like this, Chibley. It's like GeoGuessr, but for time. This, to me, seems like early 1970s America. I'm going to say this is 71. Motherfucker. 28 points. Okay. Immediately we see nuclear imagery. Man is dripped out to the gills. Some kind of anti-nuclear protest. For all I know, this could be in Vancouver. It's not. I believe that's an interstate sign. To me, this looks like early 1990s. I'm going to say this is 93. 98. Okay, I'll take that. I'm going to say this is 2021. This has to be close to the turn of the century. Can you imagine driving to work in one of these? Hey, honey, gotta go to the office. Put on my fucking goggles. Honey, wait. You forgot your goggles. Oh, thank you. Crank. You gotta go up to the... Oh, honey, the car won't start. Here, let me try. Okay, there it goes. You imagine how bad you have to be at driving to get in a car accident in this era? Sorry, it's rush hour. I saw another guy on the road. Anyway, I'm inclined to say this is around... I'm going to say this is 1921. 1933. That's crazy. This is The Shining. This is the inauguration of Teddy Roosevelt in 1908. 1902. It's not too bad. This is the first Norwegian train. It's a landmark moment for the country. Hey, no laughing. It's a landmark moment for the country. Happened in 2001. This is, all kidding aside, okay? This is, sorry. All kidding aside, this was... Let's say this is 1920 even. 1907. That's true. I didn't even think about the social cue. Everybody in this picture is looking at the camera. That is not, like, once you get to the 50s, people are like, it's a fucking camera. Yous ain't ever seen a camera before? At the turn of the century, everyone's like, oh, fuck. A camera? Like, nothing is more interesting than the fact that something interesting is being photographed here. Anyway, we got 1681. That's pretty horrendous, but I had fun either way. Is my wife live? Because I'm running out of options here. My next option is hurdle with the sound off. Oh, dude, Tradle was so good. So, Chip, have you seen this one? This one's also goated. Guess which country exports these products? Total is 2.11 million. That's like unbelievably small. They export some rough wood, some scrap aluminum, seeds, $182,000 in cheese, $27,000 in forklifts, $17,000 of sand, some instructional models. $2.11 million in trade is like, I don't even know what to say. It's like the Marshall Islands or something. Whoa! That would have been an all-time streamer moment. Now, let me just say, I don't know where the Marshall Islands are, so I don't know what the fuck is south of the Marshall Islands. American Samoa. Vanuatu. Oh! Oh! Islands. There's Cook Islands. Okay, yeah, Cook Islands. Let's try the Cook Islands. Oh. Easter. That's not. One of the Saints. These are usually in the Caribbean. Cocos Islands. I'm washed. U.S. Virgin Islands. Papua New Guinea. It's Papua New Guinea exports more than $2 million worth of stuff, man. It's got to be such a small island. Is it Borneo? Is that even a place? It's not. I'm not good at this South Pacific. I need Chibley's help. Is it Tanzania? That's in Africa. That's not. I'm thinking of Tasmania, which probably also exports more than $2 million worth of goods. I just being honest with you, I think I just don't know it. Kiribati, maybe? That's the only one that comes to mind. Oh. Fiji! What was it? Norfolk Island? Is that even a... I'm not trying to be insulting. Is that even a country? I've never heard of it before. No, that's part of Australia? All right. Last time we're playing that game. So last time we're playing... They've broken my trust, is what they've done. They've broken my trust. First country, I start Algeria, dead center. 3,000 kilometers away. Give me Slovakia. 2,900 kilometers away. Give me the United Kingdom. It's cooler. That's cooler. That's not a good guess. Give me Georgia. Oh, 1,000 away. You don't say. Okay. Give me Greece. It's not closer. It's not. Greece is cooler. I'm having trouble visualizing the globe here. Okay. It's closest to this, and then this. Give me Iran. Oh, 50 kilometers away. You don't say. Give me Pakistan. Oh, that's a little cooler. That's a little cooler is what it is. Give me Iraq. Oh, it's adjacent. Give me Syria. Syria's, oh, it's cooler. We're getting cool. We're getting cool. Okay, give me Jordan. Oh, is it a little cooler still? Okay, let me get, then it would be a Kuwait. The mystery country is Kuwait. Pretty good. It does seem like my brain is not making it make sense that that Slovakia is closer to Kuwait than Algeria is to Kuwait. Maybe it's something to do with the spherical nature of the Earth. Do you know the circumference of the Earth? 300 and... Circumference? Trick question, it's a sphere. No, circumference of the Earth. I'm trying to come up with a guess for you, okay? I'm gonna say it's 29,000 kilometers. Can I get a check? $40,000. Oh, that's what's it. I'm at least not off by an order of magnitude. Dude, okay, so I got a message from Justin that said, hey, Ryan, I've banned at least 20 people from my chat because they keep asking me why am I breathing so heavy. And then in their unban requests, I told them that they need you to vouch for them. And I said, no, I don't vouch for them. I specifically told that to him. And I told him why, which was that I told you that it would annoy people when you did it. And then you type it, and then the streamer gets mad, which is exactly what I told you would happen, and then you got banned, which is the logical course of action. But anyway, if you want to spread some interest, some enjoyment on the platform, you know what you could do is you could go into streamers' chats and say, hey, can you estimate the circumference of the Earth? And then see how close their guess is. And don't make fun of them if they're wrong. But I would be interested to see what kind of guesses people have. Because I think some people would guess like less than the distance between New York and Los Angeles. And I think some people would guess like more than the distance between the Earth and the moon. How far away is the moon? Okay, listen. In Kerbal Space Program, you can get to the moon in, well, are you speeding? How much time do you speed up to? Okay, when they did like the Apollo missions, I think it only took them like 2 days to get, day and a half to get to the moon. They were probably traveling pretty fast. 2,000 kilometers an hour. Say it takes them 36 hours to get there. So I'm going to say I'm going to add a little fudge factor. I'm going to say the moon is 110,000 kilometers away from Earth. 384, that's a lot. But can I tell you that at first I was thinking millions, so... Damn, they were schmoving, man. They were going like 8,000 kilometers an hour. Holy. Me in the space shuttle be like, can you hit the brakes, please? If I was in the space shuttle, I would be holding the handle for sure. I would not ever be fully relaxed. I would keep my seatbelt buckled unless I was in the bathroom. Okay. Name the planets from largest to smallest. Easy. You got Jupiter. That's a big boy. Then you go straight to Saturn. Following Saturn You go to, okay, the smallest is Mercury. Of the first four planets, Earth is the largest. It's like Mercury, Venus, Mars, Earth, Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, Jupiter. Mars is smaller than Venus? Yeah, your Venus, maybe. Wait. I think I just insulted the size of my Venus. All right, I'm gonna send you over to my wife's stream. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you. I'll see you tomorrow. Later.
And they'll just say he has a small Venus. What? Excuse me? Excuse me. What did you say about my husband?
What do you think the circumference of Earth is?
He said our Venus is small. Talking about planet? You know I shouldn't talk about planet after what I said 2 months ago. We don't talk about planets. No, what the hell? How do you have the clip 2 months ago? What the hell, dude? What the hell? How do you have that? Don't click on it, dude. Oh my god, Loli, please. Hey, Chit. Son? Your turn. Son? Son? Mercury, okay, Mars? Help me, bread slinger. Just type anything, just say, you should have typed anything in the sub message. That would have diverted the attention. You know, this morning I was talking about haircuts. Cause my daughter, she never got a haircut. So, like she doesn't know what haircut is, basically. But she, like, when we gave haircut for Ruka and Tomo, you know, like, they were very, very furry and fluffy. And then when we gave the haircut to Ruka and Tomo, they're, like, clean cut. So it's almost like, to her, it's like from a lot of hair to, like, no hair. And so she goes, like, Ruka has no hair, Tomo has no hair, like that. And then, you know, daddy has no hair by default. And I was like, oh, but we should get you a haircut too. And then she's like, no, I like hair. And I was like, no, the haircut, you know, when mommy gets haircut, she doesn't go no hair, just a little cut, just a little trim. It's okay, you won't go no hair. And then she's like, oh, and then she was like unsure about it. And I was like, I just realized in this household, I'm like the only normal, like, haircut. Like, I'm the only one who gets, like, the normal haircut. Daddy doesn't get a haircut. I mean, Ruka and Tomo, like, you know, they don't just get, like, trimmed. Like, they get a clean cut. So, you know, it's like a lot of hair to, like, very short hair. So it's, like, it's a hard to get a concept of what haircut is, I guess. What do you mean normal hair? Like, you know, not bald. You know, it's not like, you know, going hair to bald. Tomo and Ruka are bald. They're not bald. They just got a clean cut. But you know, the cats, they have hair everywhere. It's not just on their head. So like their haircut is like almost like a body haircut, not like a head haircut. So that's not really normal. You can't just say something like that in this year of our Lord 2023. I cannot say bald. I thought we were okay with bald. Suddenly the bald not okay? Ryan has hair everywhere. Oh, you forgot the last part. Ryan has hair everywhere except on his head. You know, we found really old fan art from one of our fan that gave it to us through fan mail. And for Ryan, it was like a white egg with glasses. Like literally no, like it was not a human. It was white egg with glasses. And then for me, I looked like just my logo, like my Twitch logo, like Twitch channel logo. And then when Luna saw it, she was like, "Mommy, is this mommy?" And I was like, "Yes, that's mommy." And then I pointed at the egg, and I was like, "Who's this?" And I thought she would say, "I don't know," or like, "It's an egg," or something. But then she said, "That's Daddy!" I was like, "Oh no. It's literally a picture of an egg with glasses." And then she said, "That's Daddy." I was like, "What the heck? How does you know?" You know those videos where dads shave their beard and surprise their kids? You should do a reverse and then put a wig on Ryan to surprise Luna. Oh my gosh, what a great idea. I bet my money on it that she will not recognize Ryan, and I think she will freak out and she will cry. I bet all my money on it. Not on you guys, but to Ryan. Just in case if I do lose money, at least Ryan gets the money. Ryan, do you think if you wear a wig and call our daughter's name, do you think she will recognize you? Or do you think she will freak out and she'll be like, "Ah! Random mail!" Did I take the last can of bubbly? I did not! I did not! I think I might have drank 2 out of like 300 cans that you bought from Costco. I said, "Are you going to sell bubbly at home? Because like that's too many cans." And then Ryan said, "Oh, it's on sale. We can afford it." And then he bought like 300 cans. And now our fridge is full of cans of bubbly. It's like the whole fridge, it just has cans of bubbly. And now it's just like it hasn't even been a week since we got it, and now he drank it all, apparently. They're all gone? Well, because you drank the whole shit then, man. I drank like 2. You know, like, last night, bedtime, I guess Ryan must have been drinking bubbly as he was looking after Luna while I was cooking dinner. She was like, "Oh, what is this?" And then she picks up an empty can of bubbly, and she's like, "Oh, Daddy left it." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, freaking leaving empty cans in our daughter's room." And then she's like, she went to like the stairs, and she said, "Ryan, recycle, Ryan." And I was like, "It's okay. Daddy will come up and pick it up." And then she's like, "Ryan!" And I'm like, "It's okay, mommy will go recycle, okay?" And then I went down. In the bed, to be fair, I did the whole nighttime duty. I was like, she was gonna poop, right? And I was like, "Oh my gosh, don't poop in your diaper, poop in the potty." And then she's like, "Okay." And then she sat on the potty, and then she's like, no poop." And I was like, "I know you are going to poop." And then we sat there for like 20 minutes, no poop. And then we were like, are you sure you're not gonna poop? And she's like, no poop. And I was like, all right. I gave her a bath. I like put the lotion, dressed her up, put it in the crib. We read like, I don't know, like three long ass stories. And then she's like, tuck me in, mommy. And I'm like, okay. And I tucked her in, and then we said good night, and then she said good night. And then, you know, I was like, okay, now she's in bed. So what do? I queued up for League. And then as soon as I got into a game, I smell something, and I'm like, ain't no way. And then I quickly went to her room. I'm like, oh my gosh, did you poop? And she's like, yes. And I'm like, oh. So I was like, Ryan, she pooped. It was like, if it's not like I ignored the fact that she was going to poop. I tried to, because we were potty training her, and it's difficult. I also loved how last night Kay was posting on the Discord about the bowls. Yeah, after I played League, I was gonna go to bed, and then I saw a notification on my Discord, and I was like, what's all this? And then freaking Watanabe was like, hey, is this pasta dish? And then Check was like, nah, dude, that's just the plate. Nah, dude, that's just the plate. And I'm like, mother effer, that's pasta dish. It has the lip. That's the whole point. And then one person goes like, oh, I think that's the pasta dish. And I was like, you damn right that shit is pasta dish. You have the pasta dish, and you were making fun of me the whole time. And then that was the last thing I said before I went to bed. And I went to bed. But I was like, freaking bitch ass. But the ones I looked up online has huge ass rims. My ours don't even have huge ass rims. It's just the plate with the rims. It's not a bowl. It's like right in the it's right in the between of bowl and the plate. If bowl and the plate had a baby, that's what the pasta dish is. It's like if it's plate, it's flat. There's no like rim. Like it doesn't have like the little like raised rim. And then like if it's a bowl, then that shit is a bowl. You know?
Took my bike to the lake. Brought my shovel, brought my rake. Took my boy to the swing. Let him swing, let them ring. Bought my friends Italian beef. Make them fart and make them queef. Abraham Lincoln was governor here. Only a steel man can be loved. You know what I'm talking about? Sufjan Stevens?